Hello? I don't know if anyone can hear me. Hello? Oh, this is a disaster. Okay, I think can everyone hear me? I think so. Okay, this is my first time. Right, sorry about the lighting. I was hoping to be in a hostel tonight, but I'm actually camping. There's a bit of a party going on at the campsite, so yeah. I don't know if you can hear. I don't know if you can hear the music from here, but it's the best I've got for tonight. Who said this? Hello, everyone. Oh no. I've had a few questions on the post I put out, so I will answer them. I'm just going to give it 5 minutes for everybody to come on. I wonder if there's any way I can do the lighting better. I don't know. I'm just going to go and see if I can find somewhere lighter. Okay, I think that's a little better. Hello, everyone. Tiago's online. Hello. Yeah, happy Easter, everybody. Just reading some of the comments. Sorry. Hi, Charlotte. Hi, Fee. Hello, Alison. I actually didn't expect many people to come online, so brilliant. I don't know how the audio is, it's just from my phone, so if you can't hear me, let me know. Malaremo? I can't pronounce that. Malaremo. Thanks a lot for that. Okay. Right, this is my first live, so you're gonna have to give me. This is very different to making videos, so. I'm literally sat on a. Let me. I'll show you. I'm literally sat on a camping chair in the middle of the driveway because it's the only light I can find. Right, let's see some of these questions that people have sent me. Okay, I was hoping to have the laptop so I could read the questions and then do the live on the phone, but again, I have camping tonight. It was not the plan, but I'm not angry about it. There's a really, really good atmosphere here and a bit of a party going on. So yeah, maybe if anyone has any questions, you can just put them in here and I'll answer them. Ben Jackson said, what drone do I have? It's the original Mavic Mini. It's actually a bit annoying because the app now will only run on certain phones, so I have to bring a separate phone to fly the drone. Philip. So I'm actually in Spain right now. I'm headed towards Bosnia. I realised I've only got 90 days in Europe, so I have 30 days to get to Bosnia. I was expecting to maybe get an extension, but I don't think that's possible. So I am headed towards Bosnia as quickly as possible, really. Which part of Spain am I in? I don't actually know. Where am I? I'm literally in a really small village between Madrid and Valencia. I'm thinking about getting the ferry from Barcelona across to Italy to save me some time with the visa situation. Well, time in the EU. How am I? Okay. Malamor asks, how am I charging everything? I'm not doing very well with that either. I'm looking at buying a solar power bank, but unfortunately, the hardest thing on the road for me is finding somewhere to get things delivered. So actually, there's so many things I've needed recently, and I just haven't got an address to deliver them. Especially now trying to get to Bosnia. Maybe I can find an address in Bosnia and get some things sent. But not planning hasn't been the worst thing either, because I'm always open for things to change. But usually I just rely on people's kindness. Cafes, if I stop in the day for something to eat or a coffee, then I'll try and charge everything there as I go. And I do have a normal power bank too, and I get 2 free phone charges out of it. But that's why some of the videos are a bit short, because I'm running out of GoPro battery. So it's I'm still learning, you know. I'm still learning everything, even though I've been on the road 2 months. Sorry, I'm trying to read and talk through here. Philip asks how the Honda's running. So yeah, the Honda is running good. It occasionally gives me some noises, which concerns me. But I gave everything a look over in Lisbon, and it is running really good. So yeah, touch some wood for me. The spokes are fixed, which a few people commented I missed the part of the spokes got fixed. So the videos are 2-3 weeks behind, so you'll find out all about that in the videos to come. But they are fixed, and I am back on the road. So but yeah, I was really lucky to get parts, and the Honda store in Lisbon were a massive shout out to them, because they really helped me get back onto the roads. And also, to answer your question, normally I like to do things myself, but if I want to check valve clearances or anything big enough like this, then I have to find a place to stay, because I can't really be checking valve clearances in the gravel. Well, maybe I can, but I haven't got around to doing that. So they also did that for me, and everything is running really well. So yeah, BR said overrun my visa. Maybe if it was one country, I would be not so bothered about being banned, but being banned from the entire EU is a bit of an issue. So no, I'm not planning on overstaying my 90 days. So it just means I won't get to. I'll just have to do another trip in Europe. Oh, I've lost everyone's questions. So yeah, that's definitely not an option. But I'm thinking about getting the ferry from Barcelona to Italy, and then that should put me in a good place, and I can slow down again once I get to Bosnia. I've lost your messages. I don't know. They were coming in so fast. Oh, there we are. Hi, Gary. David said about charging off the bike. yeah, potentially it could be an option. Um, Actually, to answer the other question again, the Honda's running great, but the battery system is a bit naff. I've had a few issues with the battery, but I haven't got around to looking at it, and it's not the end of the world because it starts without the battery, so it hasn't been my priority. But maybe I'll give that a look over once I get out of Europe. But yeah, it's definitely an option. I like to do everything myself, but I've got to be honest, when I can be a bit lazy on the road with maintenance. I mean, I do the essentials, but sometimes after a long day's ride, I'm tired, or I have a party to go to and I meet locals, and sometimes it's really easy for things like that to run away from you. So it's definitely top of the list to get the battery looking at. Nige says learning is all part of the adventure. Yeah, definitely. I learn something new every day, honestly. Shane. Sorry if I pronounced this wrong. Shane is asking, don't you worry about the engine giving up on you? Yeah, I do. It's not. I do worry about my engine giving up on me, but I mean, if it blows up, it blows up. I've had a good time, and worst case, maybe I can go back to work for a month or two and buy a new engine, and then and bring the engine back out to the bike. I mean, I'm sure there'll be a solution to a problem, even if the engine blows up. I'd rather blow the engine up than not ride what I want to ride. Ben says about going over. No, I am definitely not planning on going over. I'm just praying I can get the bike into Bosnia before my 90 days, and if not, then I'll have to come up with a solution. But definitely not planning on overstaying. I'm definitely planning to get to Bosnia before. I mean, I've got a solid month. I think with the ferry, that's plenty of time, even time to do a bit of exploring. And Greece may not be possible then, which is fine because we can cross into Turkey from Bulgaria. Darren, yes, I think you asked this question on the post. What's the one thing I packed that I couldn't live without? That's a really good question, actually. I don't know. If we're not including like my phone, my phone is my lifeline. But honestly, like everything is so essential to the adventure. Like I need my tent to sleep. I need my sleeping bag to sleep. I need my cooker to eat to save money. But I mean, if I had an unlimited budget and I could just stay in a hotel every night and not need all of those stuff, and I could eat in restaurants and all of that, I don't know. That's a difficult question. I don't. Honestly, yeah, I'd be fine going in just the clothes I was stood up. Honestly, I think I would be fine going in just the clothes I was stood up in. So maybe my camera would be the one thing, because I mean, it's been really, this YouTube thing has been a really big learning experience. It's been a really cool way to connect with people, but for me as well, it's just having those memories to look back on. I mean, I can't remember where I was yesterday, so it has been a nice thing to share with friends and family and be something to look back on in the future for sure. So yeah, maybe the camera, but honestly, I would be happy going in the clothes I'm stood up in. The less stuff, the better. It's the less stuff to stress about. And anything I didn't pack and wish I had, that would probably be the tent. I have a really good tent at home, and I didn't bring it because it was too cold to camp. And then I decided to camp a lot quicker than I'd anticipated. So I've now got a really crappy tent, and it's pretty bulky. So probably I wish I just bought the tent in the first place. And I'm missing my winter sleeping bag because the summer one I've got is very cold. So but again, I couldn't have brought that because there's no space for it. So wow, yeah, there's so many questions. Thanks a lot for everyone commenting. I have been loving reading all the comments, I'm still getting round to replying to everybody. Where was I? The four-speed. Tim says the 4-speed lift fan engine may be better gearing for off-roading. I'm not so familiar with that engine, but I mean, honestly, the Honda is a weapon off-road. Like, I have a lower gearing, and I haven't really even needed to put it on, because most of the time it literally, can you guys hear that? This is the party going on in the campsite. It literally crawls up. If that bike had ground clearance, yeah, it is honestly a weapon off road. It crawls up everything with those tires. But yeah, if I lowered the gearing, it's fine. But potentially, yeah, maybe I'll have a look about that. Ben asks, how many miles do I do on average? Oh, how many miles a day? That depends on how I feel in the morning. Some days I'll wake up and I'm like, I'm gonna ride for 6-7 hours today, and I've got all these beautiful roads in my head, and I'll drive half an hour and I will get distracted. So yeah, so to answer your question, Ben, it's how I feel in the morning. Yeah, it's been really nice just to go slow and see what opportunities arise, and take locals' advice too. So yeah, just really depends on how I feel and on the day. The most I've done in a day, which would be a good answer, is probably about 350 kilometers, which isn't very far, but I'm only doing 50-60 kilometers an hour. So it's a pretty long day then, especially your ass and your back is knackered after that. So I can only ride for an hour and a half without needing a break. So how many days do you do on average? Yeah, I'm getting through all these questions. Just keep them coming. Also, I have some questions for you guys. Sorry. Yeah, like, what do you guys like to see? Obviously, I'm not sharing every single thing of my journey, because sometimes you just have to live in the moment. But if you guys would like comment some things you enjoy, and I don't know, what do you guys want to see? You know, that I'm really curious. Like, I guess it's a personal answer to the question, but do you prefer the scenery in the off-road sections? Do you prefer to see it when I explore more touristy areas? Do you prefer it when I find places to explore that aren't so touristy? Or you're just happy to come along for the adventure? Yeah. So if you could comment that would definitely be really interesting for me to know. Wow, there's so many questions, I can't keep up. Where was I? Philip asks, how long have I owned the Honda? If you go back to my videos, one of the first few videos was when I did the Edinburgh trial. That was the first time I ever rode the bike. I'd never even ridden it off-road, and I took it to the trial. Like, first time on the road, first time off-road was on that event. So yeah, since September, I guess, but all the miles have really been put on this trip, I guess. Tim also asks, what tires am I using? If you message me on that one, I'll have to get back to you. They are, what are they? I think they're Michelin tires, but they were basically the only off-road tires I could get for the C90 at the time, last minute with postage. But if you message me on Instagram, I'll definitely check for definite which ones they are. Look, Matthew has already messaged me. They're Kenda's K262s. There you go. You already have the answer. Kenda K262s. But they were the only tires I could get for it, which is concerning now because my rear tire is looking a little flat. So that's another thing on my list, is to find a rear tire. is to find a rear tire. Maybe I can try and get one delivered to Bosnia. We'll see. Thanks, Charlotte. Oh, this is so unusual doing a live. Like it's I feel like I'm just talking to myself on someone's drive, you know. It's so funny because I make these videos, yeah, and it's still uncomfortable to be in front of the camera, but in my head it's just me making these videos for myself, for my memories, you know. And obviously I'm really blown away by the support, but I see the views, but it doesn't quite compute that 1,000 people have watched this video, you know. Yeah, well, the questions just keep coming. So yeah, it's definitely a thing. Hi, Jasmine. Everyone is on here. Where was I? Malroe says can't wait for the book. Well, I'll definitely be looking for a writer if that ever happens. I'm not so good with the writing. Maybe one day though. Yeah, Darren says that a nice hotel takes some beating. Yeah, but you know what? After like 3-4 days, I mean, I love couch surfing. That's been a really cool way to connect with people, and it is amazing to meet all these people, and I'm so grateful for a shower and to wash my clothes. But even in the hostels too, it can be not tiring is the wrong word, but you know, you're learning all the time from people and, you know, conversations. And sometimes I stayed in, and I wasn't feeling too good yesterday, and I stayed in an Airbnb last night, which is a real treat. And I had a double bed, and yeah, it is definitely, you almost enjoy it more that after a few days in a tent or something, you know. Darren says, what YouTube motorcycle channels do I watch? Oh, like any motorcycle YouTube channels. I watch all of them, I'm sure. Itchy Boot, C90 Adventures. There's a few other guys doing other adventures on C90s. There's a guy going around on an electric motorcycle right now. What's his name? I'll find his name. And that's pretty cool. Really interesting to see him find charging ports, and he takes it off roads too. So it's been quite fun to watch that. Okay, Malramo, he asks, his wife is asking, do I ever get scared? Do I get scared? I don't. Yeah, not so much in the daytime or on the road. When I go off road by myself, it's not that I feel scared. I guess my senses are more heightened off road, but I feel like I'm quite well prepared. Even if I break down in the middle of nowhere, I just see it. I just have to remind myself, like, I've just got a long hike out of there, you know, and I've got all my essentials. So I always carry spare food. I have a water filter. So even if I'm 30, 40 miles away from anywhere, then even if I'm 30, 40, 50 miles away from anywhere, I'll just have to remind myself it's a long walk home, you know, leave the bike, take the tent, take the food, and I'll just have to walk out, you know. So but yeah, sometimes campsites I don't really get scared. I touch on this in a video coming up about wild camping. I'm definitely more apprehensive wild camping, but it's something I do and have been doing. But I touch on that on a video to come, so you'll have to stay tuned for that one. But yeah, I don't, you know, scared. Scared's a really like strong word. You know, there's moments it's scary for sure. You know, like that time I had to ride back in the dark and the animal came out. But it's not a general feeling of scared. And you just trust. I really trust my gut feeling. It's like that I say is the most important thing that keeps me safe on the road. Is even if a guy can look completely normal, or a girl, or any person looks fine, and they just say something, or the way they look at me, and I get that feeling, I'll just leave the situation, you know, even if they could be genuine people. If I have this feeling, then I just take myself away from the situation, you know? It's kind of a complicated answer, but I don't think there's a yes or no answer to that one. If that answers your question. Wow, guys, there's so many questions. I was not expecting this. I thought I'd come on and there'd be nobody here. Where was I? Right, I really appreciate all the nice comments, guys. Do I have a dog? Can't see it. I think Henry's asking if I have a dog. I wish I had a dog, but I don't think I don't think the dog would appreciate coming off-roading on the C90. My back's hurting, let alone the dog's. Darren's commented, Max Travels. This is the YouTuber I was telling you about. That's going on an electric motorcycle. It's really interesting. Jude is asking what inspired me to do the trip. What inspired me to do the trip? You guys are asking really tough questions. I watched a few motorcycle adventures, like Long Way Round, etc. All the popular ones, and I never even ridden a bike. So when I started learning, I always learned with the intention of doing this trip, and then I was obsessed. And the trip came so much later than I was expecting. And last year I was on the road for 7-8 months in a camper van in the USA, but I had a dirt bike, so I did a lot more technical stuff out in America. And it's such an addicting way of living, you know. I did do some work. I went to work for a few months, but you know, you wake up every day and you go where you want, do what you want, ride where you want, and make loads of friends. I had loads of dirt biking friends out there, and before I even came back and touched ground in the UK, I was already making plans to do adventures. Yeah, it's a really funny feeling, like the idea of going back and staying in one place after doing something like this, you know. But I'm really inspired about meeting people. I love meeting people, learning about new cultures. I love adventure, and I love being outside in nature and the scenery. And like the bike can give me all of that, like so much freedom. So yeah, I'm really excited for what's to come. So yeah, I guess it was inspiration from a few places. But yeah, the freedom of the bike is definitely one of my favorites. But yeah, definitely watching the videos and stuff, and see, like, again, even watching those videos, I was attracted to that freedom the bike would give you. But then when I rode too, I'm pretty obsessed, and going off road is so amazing. It can take you to places that people never see. Where am I? Ben is asking, do I carry a Garmin InReach? Yes, I do carry a Garmin. For those that don't know, it's a satellite messaging device, so I can send an SOS if I don't have phone signal. I touched on that in my gear video. Tim is asking, how frequently do I change my oil? I just check the dipstick, and if it's dirty, I'll change it. But if I'm honest, it's using a little bit of oil, so sometimes it doesn't need it so often because I'm constantly putting fresh oil in it because it's using a little bit more oil than I care to admit. When did I last change my oil? That would be Lisbon. James is asking when I last changed it, but yeah, like I said, it's using a little bit more oil than I care to admit, so it really doesn't need it so often because it's getting new oil every day. Was my phone frozen? Yeah. Sorry, my phone is oh, I'm back. Okay. Right, I'm going to do the last couple of questions and then I am going to head off, guys. I really, before I answer a few more, I just wanted to say I really appreciate all the support, and I'm really surprised by how many people logged in today. Yeah. But yeah, even if you just message me if you have anything you'd like to see, it's always good to know what you know what everyone enjoys and what maybe is something you guys wouldn't care to see, or what, and yeah, thanks a lot. I am considering maybe so maybe I'm really blown away by how many questions, so maybe we can do something like this again with an update. But yeah, thanks so much everyone, and have a good night. Well, I'll answer a few more, and then I really I'm gonna log off. Okay. Darren is asking, what sort of daily budget do I try to work to? It's so hard. Like, I try and keep to a budget, but I've almost given up, because some days, if I found a really great, some days I can get so lucky and I'll find a couch surf for 3, 4, 5 days in a row. And then the next day, because I've only really just started camping now, which is a big bonus of another place to stay. But it's been so cold up till now to do it. But like, I did the work away in France for a week, right? I didn't spend anything for a week, but then the next week maybe I had nowhere to stay, and I was in Bordeaux and I had to spend 20 euros on a hostel, which probably doesn't sound so much, but 20 euros on a hostel, that's quite a big chunk of my budget. I try to keep it at least less than 30 a day, but some days I'll spend way less and some days I'll spend 70, because I need to buy oil or I need parts. So it really does fluctuate, but I do try to keep it less than 30 a day. But yeah, I think I touched on this as well. Like, I think it's important not to be strict with myself too, because opportunities may only come around once, and I don't want to look back and just think I struggled the whole trip. I spend money I budget, but I don't budget so I'm not enjoying it. There's this fine imaginary line that I'm working to, and some of my tips I use for myself to budget is actually, it isn't even in my head budgeting, because it's just my preference of traveling anyway. Like, I love being in the tent, I love couch surfing, and they just happen to be really great ways to save money. Wow. I don't know if I can answer all of these. This is more than a few. Thanks for all the questions, Malmo, and good night. Well, Philip's asking, will I do more of the live chat? Yeah, potentially. I'm really impressed. I'm really surprised how many of you guys logged on. So yeah, thanks so much. And yeah, again, I really am blown away with all the support. So Charlotte says, enjoy your travels. I will definitely keep sending you some pictures. Thanks a lot. Okay, Sean's asking to see more of towns and cities. Yeah, I agree. We can definitely work in some things like that. The bald bloke is asking, am I running a standard engine? Yeah, everything is standard on the Cub. Apart from the foot pegs and the heated grips, but I broke the heated grips already, so just the pegs. Gary says, some things are a bit hairy. But he look. Oh, thanks a lot, Gary. I really appreciate that. I think I missed a question I really wanted to answer. Right, this is the last one. Okay, guys. He's there's no name, but it says, he says, can I ask how long you intend to travel for? There is no end goal. It's just get to Tajikistan, and if that means potentially I'll have to For those of you who don't know, I'm a marine engineer by trade. So I am currently looking for maybe a month's work if I can pick up a freelance job for a month or 2 months. So hopefully I can make enough videos for while I'm working that you guys won't even know I've gone to work and came back, kind of thing. But yeah, there's no time scale. It's just get to Tajikistan, hopefully, depending on borders and all the other complex stuff. But yeah, it's just hopefully I can go to work for a month, and that will keep me going to the end of the trip. So yeah, I'm gonna go to the party. I think everyone's telling me to go and party. So yeah, I didn't want to cancel it because I already cancelled the last one. So thanks so much for the support, everyone, and have a good night. So I'm gonna go. Have a good night, everyone. Bye bye. I don't even know how to log off. I can hear the music's got turned off. Have I logged off? If I also, I'm trying to figure out how to log off, so I'll just say this. If I've missed any questions, just personal message me on Instagram and I'll reply to them for sure. But I'm just trying to figure out how to log off, otherwise you'll be coming to the party with me at this rate, and I need to put this chair back. Does anyone know how to log off? Are you sure you want? Yeah.